Hello, grade 9, and welcome to a new PowerPoint lecture. Of course, we're starting a new theme, and it's called the environment. This is our fourth theme this year. Our lesson is called marine pollution, and of course, by marine, we mean water, related to water. This lesson is found in your comprehension ebooks on pages 80 through 85. Of course, those are the objectives. You can check them out in the PowerPoint. Now, before we begin the lesson, there is a very important skill that is required in grade 9, of course, and it's required in the official exams. You took it, but not in depth in grade 9, and it's called data analysis, analyzing charts or graphs. Tables. You do this in biology, of course, all the time, but we're going to apply that to English. And in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to analyze a chart. Okay, in order to answer questions where we have tables and charts, we need to do the following. Let's take a look at the table or the chart in front of you. It's a bar graph. Let's read what it is about. Here. First of all, you read the heading, Primary Plastic Production by Industrial Sector in 2015. So this is the title or the heading of this chart. This is what it's about, its main idea. Now, plastic production by industrial sector, meaning which industrial sectors, which companies, which industries, which factories produce plastic more. Let's take a look at them one by one. Packaging, you know, when you go to a shop, they put your stuff in a plastic bag. To a grocery, to a clothes shop, etc. When you want to wrap gifts, etc., you will most definitely use plastic packaging. That amounts to 146 million tons. That's a lot. A ton is 1,000 kilos. So it's 146,000 million kilos. Okay. Now, building and construction, how much plastic do they produce? 65 million tons. So we note already that packaging produces the most, okay, the most plastic. Followed by building and construction. Now we're going less. Textiles, cloth, okay, what we wear, textiles, 59 million tons. Other sectors, they did not specify, 47 million tons. Consumer and institutional products, things that we consume, maybe we use plastic bags to put our sandwiches, use them to package, etc. Transportation uses 27 or produces 27 million tons. Electrical or electronic industries produce 18 million tons, and industrial machinery produces 3 million tons. Now, when you are taking a look at such a graph or a chart, if you want, you take a look at the biggest, first at the biggest, and then the lowest. Then take a look at in between. My question will always be like this. What do you conclude about the production of plastic by sector? By sector meaning what sector is it? Is it an electric company? Is it a packaging company? Is it a textile company? Which sectors have the highest? Also, I asked, which sectors have the highest production and which ones have the lowest? Okay, analyze the graph and give a conclusion. Okay. This is how we do it. It is done in steps. Everything should be done in steps in order to answer a question correctly. First of all, this answer is made of 3 parts. The topic sentence. The topic sentence is the main idea of this chart or graph. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Please, when you write the main idea of this chart, end it with a full stop. So the topic sentence, where do I get it from? Here, from the heading of the chart. Okay, so the chart depicts, or the bar graph depicts or shows, if you want, primary plastic production by industrial sector in 2015, full stop. I finished the first part. I got 1/3 of the grade just by copying the main idea, copying the title, putting it into a topic sentence. I got 1/3 of the point. Then I want to analysis of the data presented in the chart. Where's the data? The numbers. Okay, packaging produces the most at 146 millions, building construction 65, etc. until we reach industrial machinery, which produces the least at 3 million tons. After you put those numbers, analyze them, analyze the highest and the lowest, that will take like around 2 to 4 sentences depending, and then you draw out a conclusion. What do you conclude? Okay, we conclude that, let's go through it step by step. Okay, we conclude that the highest sector producing plastic is packaging, while the lowest is industrial machinery. Look at the answer, 3 parts, all in one single paragraph. The topic sentence taken directly from the title here. The bar graph below depicts, if you want to use the word shows, you can, the amount of plastic production by industrial sector. Of course, you may add in 2015, it would be better. This is my topic sentence, 1/3 of the point earned. Now the analysis. Packaging produces, this is packaging, produces the highest amount of plastic, put the number between brackets, followed by building and construction, 65 million, textiles, meaning cloth, 59 million, other sectors, 47 million, consumer and institutional products, 42 million, transportation, 27 million, electrical products, 18 million, and industrial machinery, 3 million respectively. What do I mean by respectively here? Meaning after each other, in order from the highest to the lowest. That's why I write respectively. This is my numbers. I put the numbers there. Now I need to draw out a conclusion. So in the conclusion, in the concluding sentence, I have to write, thus we conclude. You have to write this, okay? Thus, we conclude that the highest producers of plastic are the packaging industry, which means that people rely a lot of plastic in different aspects of life, especially packaging, and this is causing great harm to the environment. I need to draw out one important conclusion. We see it, we see plastic bags everywhere. Why do we use plastic bags? Mostly for packaging. Okay, we go to the supermarket, we get like 10 plastic bags. Where does this go? This all goes into the environment, and we know that plastic bags are not biodegradable. They do not break down in the environment. It takes thousands and thousands of years. So this is one conclusion we draw out. You can, of course, draw out a different conclusion, but this one would be perfectly fine. Okay, now let's move on to the vocabulary words required for this lesson. The theme, of course, the environment, and the lesson is marine pollution. Marine, number 1, marine relating to or found in the sea. Marine. Contamination, you should know the synonym very well, it's important. For the vocab, it's important in writings. It's good to use different words, not only pollution, pollution, pollution. You use in one paragraph, you would say pollution, in the other you would say contamination. It's good to enrich our vocab. Nutrient, what's a nutrient? It's a substance an organism needs for energy, growth, and life. Nutrients like the food we eat. Runoff, what's a runoff? It's an overflow of fluid from a farm or industrial factory, and it's also called sewage. You know, the refuse water, the dirty water. Debris, the S here is silent. Remains of something broken or destroyed, waste or garbage. Pollutant, the pollutant is a substance that pollutes or causes harms to a natural resource. For example, plastic is a pollutant. Fuel oil is a pollutant. Biodegradable, I mentioned this in the former slide. Biodegradable, it means that a substance is able to decompose naturally or break down in nature. Like food, you know, when you recycle food, you can put it on plants in an orchard. They will help the plants grow. You can make a compost out of it. So it's biodegradable. It can break down in nature. It doesn't cause harm to the environment. However, non-biodegradable substances are those that are unable to break down or decompose naturally. Example, plastics, as I said, they remain for hundreds and thousands of years in the environment, and they cause different issues, different diseases. They harm marine life, they harm humans. Micro, whenever you see this word as a prefix, it means tiny or very small. For example, microplastics are small, tiny particles of plastics that might only be seen maybe by a microscope or a magnifying glass. Disposable, single use, example, plastic bags, we use them for once and then we throw them away. Masks, the masks we're wearing for COVID, most of us are wearing disposable masks. We wear them once and we throw them away, causing great harm to the environment also, because masks are another issue that's facing the environment today. Millions and millions of masks are thrown away every day in the environment. Violation, meaning breaking a certain law or rule. Illegal, IL means not as a prefix. Illegal, against the law or not legal. It's the opposite of legal, which means lawful, okay? So let's say it's in this forest, cutting trees is illegal. You will get punished if you do it. Illegal, against the law. While here, it is legal to log, or it is legal to cut the trees. You don't go to jail or you don't pay a fine if you do it. So illegal, against the law. Legal, it means with the law, or it is lawful. You don't get punished. Okay, now let's start by answering some discussion questions related to the text. Name 5 major issues facing the environment today. Of course, there are many countless issues that the environment is going through today, such as deforestation, air pollution, water pollution, global warming, of course, just to name a few. Number 2, which of these issues seem to be widespread in your country? Of course, Lebanon faces a lot of issues related to the environment. Take a look at the garbage pollution, water pollution in the seas and rivers and lakes, flooding that we're seeing each year with each season, wildfires, forest fires, etc. Now, this brings us to our third question. What are the major causes of marine pollution? And of course, marine means pollution of the sea. What are the major causes? Of course, you would say oil leakage from ships, sewage water from houses and industries dumped into the ocean, and of course, garbage dumping near the sea and into the sea. That all happens in Lebanon too. Number 4, give 2 practical solutions to the problem. Let's take a look at the answers here. Okay, you need to read those on your own time, of course, the answers, but let's take a look at the practical solutions in number 4. First of all, we need to start with ourselves. We shouldn't just be saying, well, I can't make a difference. Yes, you can make a difference, and you need to start with yourself, being careful not to dump your garbage everywhere, putting it where it needs to be. Maybe in your community, you can start out a recycling program where you would divide the garbage into different categories in your municipality. 2, also the government, moreover, the government needs to do its part. When people pollute, they're breaking the law. It needs to be seen as breaking the law. They need to be paying fines. fine. A fine is a sum of money you pay when you break the law. For example, you pay a speeding fine, you pay a fine if you're not wearing the seat belt. Of course, maybe not in Lebanon, but in most places, you pay a fine in, for example, in parts of the world when you cut a tree. So if the government does its part and makes factories who are polluting and industries that are polluting, ships that are polluting, if it makes them pay a fine for polluting the ecosystem, maybe things will get better. So those are practical solutions here. Okay, this already seems like a good essay. Now this brings us to our lesson called Marine Pollution. Take a look at this. You see the tube, the huge tube you see here? It's dumping sewage water, refuse from households and factories and farms. This is all dirty water, polluted with chemicals and dirt from people. The blurb. Read the following article in which the author talks about the causes and effects of marine pollution. Then answer the questions that follow. Paragraph 1. Marine pollution is a combination of chemicals and trash, most of which comes from land sources and is washed or blown into the ocean. This pollution results in damage to the environment, to the health of all organisms, and to economic structures worldwide. So this is our introduction. Paragraph 2. Marine pollution is a growing problem in today's world. Our ocean is being flooded with two main types of pollution, chemicals and trash. Chemical contamination, of course the word contamination is a synonym for pollution, or nutrient pollution, is concerning for health, environmental and economic reasons. This type of pollution, referring of course to marine pollution, occurs when human activities, notably the use of fertilizers on farm, led to the runoff of chemicals into waterways that ultimately flow into the ocean. Again, farms are industries that dump into the ocean. The increased concentration of chemicals such as nitrogen and phosphorus in the coastal ocean, the coast, the shore, the beach, promotes the growth of algal blooms, algae in the sea, those green sort of plants that you see in the sea. When nitrogen and phosphorus are dumped in huge amounts, they make these algae bloom, okay? And those algae are toxic, meaning poisonous to wildlife and harmful to humans. The negative effects on health and the environment caused by algal blooms hurt local fishing and tourism industries. These algae, this is of course the adjective of algae, when consumed by fish, they get hurt. And of course, when we consume this fish, we ourselves get hurt. Paragraph 3, marine trash, trash meaning garbage, encompasses all manufactured products, most of them plastic. Most of the trash in the seas is plastic that end up in the ocean. Littering, storm winds, and poor waste management all contribute to the accumulation. Accumulation means increase of the debris. Debris, again, one of the vocab words, remains. 80% of which comes from sources on land. Common types of marine debris include various plastic items like shopping bags and beverage bottles. You know, the water bottles we drink all year around and every day, okay? We carry it around wherever we go and it's disposable. Along with cigarette butts, bottle caps, all of those have plastic. Food wrappers and fishing gear. Plastic waste is particularly problematic as a pollutant because it is so long-lasting, meaning it is not biodegradable, non-biodegradable. It does not decompose or break down in the environment. It lasts for hundreds and maybe thousands of years. Paragraph 4, this trash poses dangers to both humans and animals. Fish become tangled and injured in the debris, and some animals mistake items like plastic bags for food and eat them. For example, the turtles in the sea think that the plastic bag is a jellyfish. When they ingest it, they die. Small organisms feed on tiny bits of broken down plastic, thinking it's food, called microplastics, tiny, and absorb chemicals from the plastic into their tissues. Microplastics are less than 5 millimeters. Okay, 5 millimeters. You see that on the ruler? Okay, this is tiny in diameter and have been detected in a range of marine species, including plankton and whales. They bring it away from the ocean, a dead whale, of course. When they open it up, they find maybe kilograms of plastic waste inside this organism. And that's what led to that whale's death. When small organisms that consume microplastics are eaten by larger animals, the toxic chemicals then become part of their tissues. In this way, the microplastic pollution migrates up the food chain. So the small fish eat the microplastic, they are eaten by the large fish, and we, maybe humans, we like to eat fish. Especially in Lebanon, we consume or eat this fish that is full of microplastic, and thus our health is harmed. Okay, now let's move on to the questions. They are found on page 84 of your comprehension ebook, of course. According to paragraph 2, what does chemical runoff flowing into the ocean lead to? Let's take a look at paragraph 2. Okay, this type of pollution occurs when human activities, namely the use of fertilizer on farms, lead to the runoff of chemicals into waterways and ultimately flow into the ocean. Now, the increased concentration of chemicals such as nitrogen and phosphorus in the coastal ocean promotes from here the growth of algal blooms, which can be toxic to wildlife and harmful to humans. Okay, the negative effects on health and the environment caused by algal blooms hurt local fishing and tourism. So those are the effects. Question 2. What is the main source of marine trash according to paragraph 3? Why is it problematic? Problematic, why does it cause problems? This is paragraph 3. Let's take a look at it. Marine trash encompasses all manufactured products, most of them plastic. Okay, 80% of which comes from sources on land. Why is it problematic? Take a look here. It's problematic since plastic is non-biodegradable. It does not break down. It lasts for years and years in the environment. So this is the answer. The major source of marine trash according to paragraph 3 is plastics. This is problematic since plastics last for a very long time. They take hundreds of years to decompose. Again, decompose means break down. Question number 3, by referring to paragraph 4, how does plastic pollution in oceans harm humans? Taking a look at paragraph 4 here displayed, we notice how, the big organisms eat the smaller organisms which have already consumed microplastics. Remember, we talked about microplastics, which are dangerous. And then we, in turn, as humans, when we eat fish, this microplastic has migrated up the food chain until it reached us, eventually hurting our health. So fish consume means eat microplastics that are found in the ocean as a result of pollution. When humans consume these fish, they get harmed by the plastics, which might cause dangerous diseases.